जय जय श्री राधे। सब वैष्णवों को जय श्री कृष्ण। सब प्रेम सादर जय श्री कृष्ण। Shri Vallabhadi Shri Jai, Shri Gosai Ji Jai. Day 23 of the reading of the 252 Vaishnavas. Varta number 5, the story of Narayan Das. Varta Prasang 2, part 2 of his biography. Once, Shri Gosai Ji, together with Rukmini Bahoji, Shobha Betiji, and Shri Giridharji, travelled to Shri Jagannath Puri to have the Lord's holy sight. They all stayed there for a whole month. When the time came for Shri Gosai Ji to leave Jagannath Puri, he offered everything that he had brought with him, the tent, vessels, horses, bullocks and camels. He kept the clothes he was wearing, but gave up everything else. Then he left Bhav Prakash. There is a serious doubt here. Shri Gosai Ji is the driving force behind the path of grace, and the main Shri Thakurji of the path is Shri Govardhanaji, who is his all-in-all. So why did he offer everything to Shri Jagannath Ji? The answer given is that Shri Jagannath Ji is connected to Shri Acharya Ji. For this reason, Shri Gosai Ji often went to have the holy sight of Shri Jagannath Ji. He also made many offerings there. Therefore, one should have the holy sight of Shri Jagannath Ji with Shri Acharya Ji in mind. This is a principle here. The other reason is that Shri Gosai Ji is an Acharya of the path of devotion. Wherever the Lord manifests as a deity according to the ways of the devotional path, Acharyas should definitely go there. That is why Shri Gosai Ji used to go to Shri Jagannath Ji and make offerings there. In this way, Shri Gosai Ji protects the rules of the path of devotion, although this is the lesser consideration. Part 2 continued. The four of them left Shri Jagannath Puri on foot. Narayan Das had already perceived all of this, the Lord's wish, while sitting at home. For this reason, Narayan Das had made ready all sorts of goods which were put in front of Shri Gosai Ji. He had already told the men who were attending to the goods to keep them at a distance of 2 miles from Jagannath Puri. He told them, if you take it inside the town, Shri Gosai Ji will offer it all to Shri Jagannath Ji. These were the items: 3 special palanquins, 2 horses, 1 camel, 1 bullock cart, pavilions, tents and tent screens, vessels and pots, food supplies, jewellery, cloth of 2 varieties, a bed and whatever else that would be needed. Watching out for Shri Gosai Ji's arrival, Narayan Das's men stood at the spot where they had been instructed to stay. When Shri Gosai Ji left Jagannath Puri and came there, Narayan Das's men conveyed his prostration to him and presented all these offerings to him, saying, O Maharaj, Narayan Das has sent all these offerings for you. Please accept them. Shri Gosai Ji asked them why they had not brought them all these things into Jagannath Puri. The men told him, O Maharaj, this was how Narayan Das Ji had instructed us, so we did not bring them inside the town. In his heart, Shri Gosai Ji became very pleased with Narayan Das. He sat down in one of the palanquins. Shri Rukmini Ji sat in the second and Shobha Betiji in the third. Shri Giridharji mounted the horse. They set off and travelled to a distance of 20 miles from that place and stopped in a village named Kokuwa. There, Narayan Das came before Shri Gosai Ji and very devotedly requested him to come to his home. Shri Gosai Ji stayed there for 27 days. Narayan Das was presented him with ever new supplies and new cloths. Narayan Das's heartfelt longing was for Shri Gosai Ji to remain there for a whole year, so that he would truly be able to enjoy serving him. But what to do? Shri Rukmini Ji was pregnant, and so Narayan Das let his master go after a short period. As they left, Narayan Das made even more offerings to them. To Rukmini Bahoji he gave 5 necklaces with the purest diamonds and highest quality pearls. He also gave a lot of jewellery to Shobha Betiji and Shri Giridharji. Placing a lot of money in front of Shri Gosai Ji, he said, O Maharaj, if I write you another invitation of this kind, please do fulfill my wish. Seeing Narayan Das's intense longing, Shri Gosai Ji happily agreed that he would do indeed that. Narayan Das had also found one deity. While Shri Gosai Ji was there, he had established his worship in Narayan Das's home. Narayan Das began to serve him according to Shri Gosai Ji's instructions. Shri Gosai Ji then left Narayan Das's area and returned home to Adel. As they arrived, all their children came to greet them. All the brothers went first to greet Shri Gosai Ji, but Shri Raghunath Ji went straight to Shri Rukmini Ji and sat in the palanquin with her. Rukmini Ji took off one of the necklaces and put it round Raghunath Ji's neck. Raghunath Ji, wearing the necklace, went to Shri Gosai Ji. When he was sitting with Shri Gosai Ji, the other children asked him where he had acquired the diamond necklace. He replied that his mother had given it to him. The 3 brothers then approached their mother and asked whether they could also have such necklaces. She gave them one each. Very happy to be wearing such necklaces, the 3 brothers left their mother and came back to Shri Gosai Ji. They were Shri Govind Rai Ji, Shri Balakrishna Ji and Shri Gokulnath Ji. They were also happy to each have the same diamond necklace. This story of the diamond necklaces comes from Krishna Bhatt's book. Sri Gosaiji then returned home. Narayan Das and his wife began to engage in serving their Thakurji very lovingly. Narayan Das would wake him up and offer him his breakfast, chant on his rosary until the correct amount of time had elapsed, accept the prasad and perform the Mangalarti. After that he would bathe his Sri Thakurji, dress him up, offer him some snacks to accompany these services, and then he would set off for his work at the court. This was Narayan Das's regular seva. Viram would then do the cooking and make the lunchtime offerings, clean the kitchen, accept back the prasad, perform the Rajbhog Arati, facilitate the Lord to take his nap, put the prasad into separate vessels and cover it. When Narayan Das returned home from the court, then the husband and wife would partake happily of the prasad together. Narayan Das had some rooms built in the front of his home for Vaishnavas to stay in. Viram would prepare supplies for them by cleaning them ready for offering, in the same way that she would clean and get ready supplies for offering to their Lord. In the very same way she would get them ready for Vaishnavas. She and her husband had the same loving regard for the Lord and for the Vaishnavas. Narayan Das spent all day in the palace. At home it was Viram who offered hospitality to the Vaishnavas, whoever and whenever they arrived. Narayan Das would meet the Vaishnavas when he returned home. He would always ask them for news of Sri Gosaiji before he left for work. He would greet them with Jai Sri Krishna. He felt very happy when he met Vaishnavas in this way. He would also give them their expenses as much as he could. The Vaishnavas could leave whenever they wanted, but he would never see them off or ask them to leave. Viram made sure that they always had enough supplies. She never veiled herself in front of Vaishnavas. Sri Gosaiji and Srinathji will always bless those who kindle such pure feelings towards Vaishnava devotees. So we conclude today's reading there at the end of part 2, and tomorrow part 3. So that's day 23 concluding now. Jai Sri Krishna, Radhe Radhe. And Aaj Ke Anand Ki Jai. Tomorrow we meet for part 3 of Varta 5 of the 252 Vaishnavas Narayan Das. Jai Shri Radhe.